So 802.11 physical layer. So 802.11 physical layer is considered here. Means this is the OSA 7 layers. So in that OSA 7 layers, what are the protocol stack in 802.11? Um, 802.11. So here in the physical layer, from releasing date means from starting from 1997 to 2009, what are the different type of versions are used. So for example, in the first 1997 to 1999, 802.11 frequency hopping and infrared. So this is the thing, this is the protocol which is used in 1997 to 1991. So in 1991, this 802.11 is somewhat modified by using various features, and it will be modified as 802.11a OFDM. So this OFDM is nothing but orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. So OFDM is orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Next, in 1999 itself only, the another version that is called as 802.11b is coming into the picture, and that is based on spread spectrums. And in 2003 it is 802.11g OFDM. So like that, each and every means there is an improvement in the protocols which are used in the physical layer. So we'll see what is this one. The initial 802.11 standard defines two forms of spread spectrums. So spread spectrum modulation for the physical layer. So what is this spread spectrum modulation? So before going to discuss about the spread spectrum and spread spectrum, we need to know about first thing is bandwidth. So what is bandwidth? So bandwidth means it is nothing but the data transfer capacity of a particular computer network in bits per second. Means whatever the data we need to transmit from one system to the another system, definitely that network channel consisting of a capacity, means the capacity of transmitting the data, right? So sometimes it consists of 10 mbps only. Sometimes it is having the capability of 100 mbps. So like that, it is having some capability for transmitting the data from one system to the another system. So that capability of transmission rate is called as this bandwidth. So why we discussed this bandwidth mean, there is a relationship between this bandwidth and spread spectrum, because spread spectrum is nothing but it is a technique in which the transmitted signals of specific frequencies are varied slightly to obtain the greater bandwidth as compared to the initial bandwidth. That means by using this spread spectrum, whatever the initial bandwidth is there, so that initial bandwidth is slightly improved. Means to obtain the greater bandwidth, we will use a specific frequencies, means different varieties of frequencies are used. So that is called as spectrum technique. So mainly used to improve the bandwidth what initially was, means initially some bandwidth is there. To improve that bandwidth, we will use this spread spectrum concept. So this 802.11 standard consisting of two different forms of spread spectrums. So what are the two different spread spectrums? One is frequency hopping and another one is direct sequence. So FHSS, DSSS. FHSS means frequency hopping spread spectrum, and direct sequence spread spectrum. So frequency hopping mean whenever we have a computer system is there, means A is one computer system and B is another. So if from A to B, we want to transmit the data. So whenever it is transmitted, it starts transmitting. It is not directly received by B. So in the middle, we have some routers or intermediate nodes are there, because um, we have not only two systems are directly connected. So to connect the devices, it will be passed through some intermediate nodes. So while passing from one node to the another node, so this is called as one hop. And from this router to this router, again data is transmitted, that is called as one hop. And from this router to again it reached to the destination, so this is called as one hop. That means from one point to another point, it may be the computer initial means a sender device, and the other one is intermediate nodes. So in between the data transmission is there, that is called as hop. So here completely based on frequency hopping, based on the frequency transmission. So within this amount of frequency, for example 0.18 mu frequency is considered for transmitting data. So like that, if you consider the frequency hopping, that will be considered as the first standard, means first form of spectrum used in the physical layer. And the second one is direct sequence. So direct sequence means there is no hopping system here. Directly the data is transmitted from one system to the another system, that is called as direct sequence spectrum. So these two are the two forms of spectrums used in 802.11 architecture. So these two standards specify 2.4 gigahertz up frequency with data rates of 1 and 2 Mbps. That means the first frequency hopping is specified with a frequency of 2.4 gigahertz, and direct sequencing is also having the frequency range is 2.4 gigahertz. But by using this frequency range, the frequency hopping spectrum is transmitting the data with data rates of 1 Mbps. That means the FHSS is used to transmit the data with a rate of 1 Mbps, but the frequency range is 2.4 gigahertz. So with the same frequency, the direct sequence will transmit the data with 2 Mbps speed. Another initial physical layer utilizes the infrared passive reflection techniques for transmission of data at 1 and 2 Mbps. So this standard has not been implemented in the products. So in addition to these two, another initial physical layer also utilizes the infrared passive reflection technique. So normally the data is transmitted in the form of radio waves. So if you are using spectrum system, it will transmit the data in the form of radio waves. So not only that means this frequency hopping and direct sequencing both will transmit the data in the form of radio waves only. So in addition to this radio wave transmission, another technique is also used, that is called as infrared passive reflection technique, which is also used to transmit the data with data at 1 and 2 Mbps speed. That means the radio waves transmitted by FHSS or direct sequencing both are also taken place with a data rate of 1 Mbps and 2 Mbps respectively. In the similar fashion, this infrared passive reflection techniques also taken place. But this infrared passive reflection technique is not been implemented in the so direct real time products, this infrared passive reflection technique is not implemented. Only the frequency hopping, either frequency hopping technique or a direct sequencing technique. Means if you want to transmit a data rate of 1 Mbps, then in that cases FHSS is sufficient, because that is having the capability to transmit data rate with 1 Mbps. For example, if you want to transmit data rate of 2 Mbps speed, then in that cases this direct sequencing spectrum concept is used. So these two are implemented in the real time products, but the third case, infrared passive reflection, is not implemented in the products. So in late 1919, the IEEE published two supplements to this 802.11 standard. So we already discussed in the protocol stack. So in 1997 to 1999, uh, three That means these three protocols are implemented. So what are these three? 802.11, frequency hopping and infrared. So frequency hopping and infrared is invented in the year of 1997 to 1999, and in the same 1999 only the additional feature is added, that is called as orthogonal technique is added to the frequency division multiplexing. So that version will be given as 802.11a. And in the 1999 itself, the SPED spectrum means FHSS and DSSS. So that SPED spectrum concept was introduced in the year of 802.11b. That means 802.11a and 802.11b was introduced in the year of 1999. So 802.11 standard defines at up to 54 Mbps using orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. So it is having the frequency range of, normally the frequency range is 5.8 gigahertz frequency. So here also we discussed the frequency range. So these two, frequency hopping and direct sequencing, these two are supporting the frequency of 2.4 gigahertz. So the higher version of this one, mean 802.11a, is supporting the frequency, means the frequency of 5.8 gigahertz, and the data rate is also 54 mbps. So that is the data rate which is used in the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. And IEEE 802.11b, this is the standard with a data rate extension of the 802.11 DSS. So that means we have 802.11 is having two things. One is FHSS and DSSS. So these two are the two forms of standards, two forms of spectrums. So here 802.11b is the data rate extension of the initial 802 DSSS. So the extension for this direct sequencing extension is 802.11b, that is called as spectrum concept, and which will provide the operations in 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth. So bandwidth means the capacity to transmit the data from one system to the another system. That means the capacity is 2.4 gigahertz. So up to 2.4 gigahertz, the data will be transmitted through this 802.11b version with additional data rates of 5.5 and 11 mbps. So this is the additional data rate which is used in this version 802.11b. Most companies implementing wireless LANs today are installing 802.11b based systems. So nowadays, means not nowadays, this is related to 2009 like that. So at that time period only, so many wireless technologies will come into the picture, and those wireless technologies will use this 802.11b based system, because this is the higher version when compared to 802.11. So we have gradually from 1997 to 99, 802.11 is sufficient. Next, to increase the frequency or transmission rate, we move to the next version, that is called as 802.11a. But in 1999 onwards, the main thing, means the main version or protocol that is used is 802.11b based. So that is mostly installed in the all wireless local area networks. So the 802.11 DSSS radios interoperate with 802.11b access points. However, 802.11 FHS radios do not. That means this 802.11 DSS radios interoperate. That means the operations will be performed internally by using the access point of 802.11b. we already discussed the 802.11 is consisting of two architectures. One is infrastructure based, another one is ad hoc technology. If you consider the infrastructure based, then definitely they are using the access points. So here the access point, if we are using the 802.11 dss, as it is interoperating, means it is operation, the operations will taken care by the access point of 802.11b. So the access points are installed with, mean, because that is a access point is nothing but it is a hardware part, so which is used to connect the devices, computer devices, through wireless. So from 1999 onwards, the 802.11b is mostly installed in the wireless. So that's why the 802.11 dss interoperate with the 802.11b access point, but it is not taken care by, means it is not possible with FHSS, means frequency hopping system will not use this 802.11b access point. That is used by that is directly connected by using the ad hoc technologies like that. Clear? So here is one summary table which is used to explain what is the technique used in a particular version and what is the maximum bit rate. So NICs are compatible with multiple physical layer. So if you have a computer system is there, so that computer system is consisting of an unique NIC card. So NIC is nothing but network interface card. So that network interface card is installed in the computer device. So if it is installed, then only it is connecting to the other systems through network. Otherwise, the system will not allow to connect to any other devices. So the network interface cards are compatible with multiple physical layers. So multiple physical layers, it will be compatible, because one manufacturing system means the system, one of the system is manufactured by one company and another system is manufactured by another company. So each and everything is having a different specifications, different features. So our network interface card will support to all the physical layer versions. So what are the different type, means here are some of the example. 802.11b physical layer, so it will supports the spectrum, which is having the frequency of 2.4 gigahertz, and this spectrum concept technique is used to transmit the data rate with 11 mbps speed. And coming to 802.11g, so this is used, means 802.11g follows the technique of orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, and here also the frequency is similar to the spectrum, that is 2.4 gigahertz, but the data transmission rate is increased to 54 mbps. So when compared to 802.11b, the data rate is more in 802.11g. And 802.11a, that is also using the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Here the frequency range compared to 11g is more here. So in 802.11 it is 2.4, now it is increased to 5 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz frequency range, and the data rate is same. Means here the data rate is constant, mean the transmission rate or the bandwidth is constant, but the frequency is different. That's why the version name is changed to 802.11a. And now coming to 802.11n, so here it will use orthogonal frequency division with MIMO. So what is this MIMO? MIMO is nothing but multiple input, multiple output. So multiple, more number of inputs are given and more number of outputs are collecting by using a orthogonal frequency division technique. So here the frequency ranges of two types. So sometimes it will use 2.4 gigahertz and sometimes it will use 5 gigahertz. So the frequency is like that, and with a data transmitted rate, mean the maximum bandwidth, the maximum bit rate is 248 mbps. So this is the bandwidth rate for this 802.11n. So like that, another version was introduced in the year of 2013. So compared to 2019, 2009, this is the latest version. But now we are using so many other versions. So nowadays it is in the 4G technologies. So at the time period of 2013, it is only in 2G technologies only. So at that time they are using these versions. So 802.11a, it is also supporting 5 gigahertz with a data rate of 1300 mbps speed. So this is about physical layer.